In Beijing on Sunday, the most important political meeting in a generation began. Every 5 years, the Communist Party holds a national congress and they choose their top leaders as by far the most powerful body that really controls the whole country. At this congress, Xi Jinping is getting another 5 years as party boss and head of the military, and perhaps even longer. I'm David Rennie. I'm the Economist's Beijing bureau chief, and I was one of very few foreign journalists allowed to attend.
您认为历史会怎么样记住纪念这20大？
My journey to the party congress actually started 2 days earlier. Saturday morning, and I am on my second day of quarantine in what's technically called a closed-loop management quarantine hotel. So you can see that there's fences, temporary fences all around this hotel. We have guards. So we all have to have badges. That's my Communist Party Congress badge. And on Sunday morning, we drove through Beijing in a motorcade of coaches with a police car at the front into the Great Hall of the People. It's a giant palace of sort of communist 1950s architecture, and it's a really old-fashioned piece of communist theatre. You could be in Stalin's Moscow, you could be in Chairman Mao's Beijing of 50 or 60 years ago. In case you're in any doubt as to who is the star of this show, every single of these displays has a picture of the party leader, Xi Jinping. We went into the Great Hall of the People and sat up in the press gallery next to the military band, and we watched Xi Jinping give his work report for the last 5 years. There are a ton of headwinds really battering the Chinese economy and really Xi Jinping's claims to be a competent governor. You know, we have the Chinese public who are very tired of some of these zero-COVID restrictions. 1 in 5 young Chinese is unemployed at the moment. There's a housing crisis looming. And so the outside world might expect a speech from Xi Jinping which addresses those concerns. That is not how a work report to a Communist Party Congress goes down. This was an extraordinarily confident speech. No real sort of signals of a change of course at all. The biggest and loudest applause was for some remarks about Taiwan.
祖国完全统一一定要实现，也一定能够实现。
It could have been worse. If you are the Taiwanese government, if you are Taiwan's allies in places like Washington, you were worried that there might be something that was much more like a deadline, a sign of impatience or urgency. And there wasn't. Actually, the Taiwan language didn't change. The Party Congress lasts until next Saturday, and there is some business to do. There is a report from the fearsome Discipline Inspectorate, which basically is the body that catches corrupt officials and purges Xi Jinping's enemies. Their leadership will be chosen. The party constitution, we know, is going to be amended, and that will be a signal about just how much personal authority Xi Jinping is going to claim. So at the moment, the party constitution praises Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. It's a mouthful. If that is shortened to just Xi Jinping thought, that will put him on a par with Chairman Mao, because Mao Zedong thought is the only other form of ideology that is identified as snappily. That may sound ridiculously arcane, but that is actually how the Communist Party signals giant power struggles and power moves. If you're a viewer at home trying to work out if Xi Jinping plans to rule for another 5 years, maybe 10, maybe for life, then you need to look at the line of men in suits who will follow him out onto stage, and we think on Sunday he will be the new standing committee. And if everyone in that lineup is either too old or too young to be a plausible successor in 5 years' time, then you will know that China's supreme leader does not plan on giving up power anytime soon. Thank you for watching. To read all of our coverage of the 20th Party Congress, click the link. We've also just published a special report I wrote about China's ambitions for the world order, and you'll find a link to that in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe.